But with Wellington goalkeeper Jack Moore after a superb 2-1 victory and a bit of a niggly game. Jack, you must be, first and foremost, you must be really happy to have got a win.
Yeah, buzzing with the win. We played them twice now, and they're probably the best side we've played by an absolute country mile. So to come here and get the 3 points with the performance that we had today, absolutely thoroughly buzzing with it, because like I said, they are a genuinely good side and they'll be up there come the end of the year. So it's a massive, massive game.
First 5 minutes, we never got out of our half. We probably never got out of our own box. I think they hit the post, didn't they? You made a save or two, so they really came at us, didn't they?
Yeah, and we expected that. Obviously, Mike told us from the beginning to sort of stay composed and keep our heads. They're going to come out like that. And we knew that by how they sort of finished the last game, that they had it in them. So Mike said, just keep our heads, stay composed, and then when we get our chances, just go out there and create. And to be fair, we did that. So we were quite comfortable in that regard, but they had some good chances because they got some really good players.
I think after the first 5 minutes, when we had a 10-minute spell then, and I think that showed that we were going to be in the game. But then they obviously score, which is from a set piece, and fair play, he's finished it. Any thoughts about that set piece? Should we have picked him up? Could we have stopped the shot?
Not really. It's probably a little bit of my error. I've gone towards it, and instead I couldn't get there with my hands, so I went to go with my feet, and then in the weather and stuff, I've sort of made a little bit of an error, but that happens from time to time. It's how we get on with it. Yeah, it is what it is. It's, a couple of years ago when I was a little bit younger, those sort of things would have probably affected me. But having been playing this position for a long time now, little errors like that are going to happen. It's part and parcel of playing in goal, and it's how you sort of deal with it afterwards. That reaction. I made a couple of great saves after as well, so I'm really happy with my performance, and obviously not happy with the goal and the way we conceded it. But the team's response was absolutely superb, and when you make a mistake that you got boys in this team that are going to be able to dig you out of it. So it's it's really, really good having that confidence in the side.
I think there's a bit of choice language when they scored, and I thought they were serving it up to us a bit there, saying have that in industrial language. But then to go 60 seconds later and to go up the other end, get a penalty, and also they're down to 10. What did you reckon about their penalty?
Their penalty.
By the way, you got Mike and Joel behind you. Give you a bit of
That's all right. That's all right. Their penalty, I think, was a bit dubious to be honest. It was a pen, 100%.
It was a pen. Card.
Never been a red card. I mean, they've got to clarify the new rule a bit more, because we had a similar one a couple of weeks ago against Homestyle, where they've got the penalty, which is fine, and then they've sent the player off because he was the last man. Now the new rule, I think, states that it's one or the other, right? So, if you give the pen, you can't give the red card. So I felt for them a little bit, but obviously it happened to us a couple of weeks ago, and it's how you deal with it. And to be fair, they dealt with it really, really well, because they were still in the game and they were still, making stuff happen. So yes, I don't think it was a red, but it was a pen.
And obviously Ryan then put us 2-1 up. Obviously put the penalty away, but then he's gone in brave. He's bundled it over the line, and it's gone in one way or the other. But you think you're a man up. You're now 2-1 up. You think we're in a great position here?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was one of those things. I wholeheartedly don't think we're a team that, if we did do anything, we're wholeheartedly a team that doesn't do stuff off the ball. We sort of pride ourselves on our sportsmanship and how we are off the ball. You can tell that by our disciplinary record and winning the best team with the discipline in August. By a country mile.
Fair play league.
Exactly. So we're not a team that does silly stuff like that off the ball.
And Ryan's never been sent off.
Never been.
We won't talk too much about the incident, because I think it's so soon after the game. But for me, what I didn't like about the incident was the fact that the referee didn't see anything. The linesman didn't flag to talk to the referee that he'd seen anything. One of their players sort of got in the linesman's face and then the referee across. I mean, is that right, Jack?
It's handbags really, because both the boys have gone in for a tackle. It's a 50-50. They've both gone to get up. They're giving it a little bit of verbal. Obviously, they're saying to the refs, I mean, we're saying to the refs, that's the nature of the game, right? It should be up to the ref and the linos to be good enough at this level to deal with that situation at hand, and then obviously move forward with the right action.
But the linesman,
was that the right action
he made his
today?
Decision quickly, didn't he, Jack? When he went to the linesman said something. The referee's gone straight away, straight red. You're off.
And listen, stuff like that is going to happen. We can't argue with it because he's not going to change his mind. But we're not a team that does anything like that. And I'm sure the footage, because it was right by your footage, I'm sure your footage will clarify that.
What happened?
Exactly.
Jack, did we react well? Did we take it well? Did we move on from that incident well?
Yeah, I thought we were still quite comfortable. We didn't panic. And that's been a theme of how we played this year. Whenever we've been down, whenever we've sort of had a bit of adversity to go through, the boys have always stepped up and dealt with it well. And that was, you know, the same today. They had a good 15-minute period after that sending off where they were really in the game, and they had a few chances from the corner. I think they saved one from an offside. Like I said, that's the nature, because they're a very, very good side. So obviously giving them that confidence and letting them get back into the game, that was going to happen. But we rode the storm well, and then towards the end, I think we kind of dominated a bit ourselves and managed the game really, really well to go out and get the win. So absolutely buzzing with it. No mistakes.
They are going to be one of the sides that's going to be
100%.
So to do the double over them
is at this early on in the season is absolutely huge. Like, if I'm being honest, secretly, I would have been happy coming away with a point here today. We set ourselves a target for over the next 5 games, and you know, so far with that points, we're going to be meeting it hopefully. So obviously we've got a big game on Wednesday.
Against Sporting,
yeah,
it's going to be like a derby, both playing the same
yeah,
ground,
I mean, I think
see that game.
I think obviously we know them, they know us. I've played with a lot of their boys, they've played with a lot of our boys, and I think they're hyping it up to be more than what it is. More than what it is. And for us, I think we've got to not rise to that occasion. I think we've got to go out there, just play like we have been playing. Obviously we played them last year and won, so they're going to have a bit of an edge to want to come back at us. But again, every team we play in this league,
it's another game for us. Yeah,
we have to go in with that mentality. Obviously, I know they've got some really good players. We played them in pre-season with all our trialists, and you know, we saw they've got some quality. But again, we don't want to turn this into a game, you know, where we're sort of Clash of the Titans type of thing.
Let the referee deal with anything.
Yeah, we want to go there and we want to play our normal game, regardless of who it is. If we know a lot of their players, if we don't know a lot of players, it's just another game in this league, and every team in this league is capable of going out and getting a result. So hopefully we turn up and get the 3 points.
On a day like today, I mean, it's fair to say I think we had a lot more supporters here than they had, and connections. Is it noticeable out there? Can you hear people in the stand?
Yeah, you can. I mean, obviously, credit to Kev, because even he's out there with, you know, his wife heavily pregnant, and you know, he's out there cheering us on and giving us little bits of advice. He lets us get on with the game.
You feed off the support when you got
of course,
in the crowd, on your side?
Of course. I mean, you know, it helps having that, especially coming this way to the game and seeing us out there get the result. I'm sure it's rewarding for them as well, making the journey, and then we go and perform like that. So I mean, it works both ways. We're really, really glad and happy for the support.
First of all, is that SC Don's cap, by the way?
Yeah.
Next time you do an interview, if you not win a Well in Town one, and you get fined.
Well, tell Kev to get some Well in Town hats, because half of us ain't even got tracksuits at the moment, and that's on camera. So, you know, Kev, get the tracksuit. I've got one because I was here last year, but a lot of the new boys, we haven't got any tracksuits in yet. So, big one on the chairman there to get us some tracksuits, so we can look as good as we're playing currently, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's hope he's not drinking coffee when he says this, because if he is, he's probably going everywhere.
Well, hopefully he'll see it tonight after he's had a few beers in the bar, so I'm sure we'll be all right.
Well, Jack, well done today.
Thank you.
Great result, and it really gives us something to move on with.
Appreciate that. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, mate. Well done.